So my key takeaways from this year's Sigma are a couple of them. So the first thing is the trend that we are seeing. This is basically 5 to 7% increase year-on-year basis, adding up to $137 billion. So if we look back and look at the average of the last 30 years, we would end with the amount half of it, so something around $70 billion. Looking at the peak years, for example, so the biggest 5 peak years add up to 655 billions. When we compare that with 2 trillion of Nat Cat losses over the last 30 years, this is something around 30%. And just to put that into perspective, P&C premium globally is 2.2 trillion in 2023. So now maybe coming down from these peak years and looking into the large events. Since 1997, we have 2 exceeding $60 billion. And when we try to project this into the future, we come up with a relatively realistic scenario of about $100 billion. One of the reasons is rising population in exposed areas and maybe adoption not keeping up with the pace of risks arising. Now, if we zoom a bit into Europe, we see Europe as a hot spot of secondary perils. And many people are now debating, is it still secondary perils or not? The years since 2021, we have even 4 events adding up more than $8 billion for flood events only. 3 of these events happened only in 2024. This is the floods in Germany back in May, June, and then we had a big event, Boris, in Central Eastern Europe, and finally the one in Valencia in October last year. Zooming into my markets, we see Czech Republic, Austria, and Poland. We had this huge event, Boris, last September. The key number is obviously something around $2 billion plus. It's one of the major events in the last couple of years. We did our internal analysis and come up with return periods between 10 and 20 years, depending on the country. One thing is insured penetration, like in Czech Republic, for example, it doubled since the last major event in 1997, where built-up land grew by 25% in Czech and 33% in Poland. So lessons learned and what does it mean for our industry is that we are basically all in the same boat. And I think governments, insurance and reinsurance play a pivotal role here. Lesson learned from the previous events is definitely defenses. The investments played a key role. And there are many markets out there, especially in Europe, they can learn something out of these events in Austria, Czech Republic, Poland, and a bit broader in the region. I think going forward, technology is definitely something that can help us mitigate these risks in the near future.